Our lesson today is talking about adding and subtracting polynomials. So first we need to do a few just kind of definitions of things. But if we look, monomial, it's a numbers and variables combined through multiplication. So you can see negative 3x to the 8th y, negative 9, and 14m are all monomials. A binomial is the sum of two monomials combined by adding or subtracting. So you can see 4x minus 7, 2x plus 9y, and 2 plus 13x are all examples of binomials. There's two different monomials, or two different terms, separated by an addition sign or subtraction sign. And then trinomials, same type of thing. Sum of three monomials combined by addition or subtraction. You can see a plus 2b plus 4c, x squared plus 8x plus 9, and 2x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. So those are all different trinomials. So another definition that we need to talk about is just a polynomial is a monomial or group of monomials. So polynomial is one monomial or a group of monomials. A polynomial in standard form when the degree of the terms is decreasing from left to right. So it decreases from left to right. Also, it must be alphabetical order. So alphabetical order as well. So like up here where we had 2x squared plus 2xy plus y squared, that's alphabetical order. The x squared, it decreases to an x term, and then there's no x in the last one. That's why there's a y squared. Alright, so that's basically what you need to know. And now we're just doing some adding and subtracting. We'll work some examples. And so the first one, 4x minus 5 plus 3x plus 6. So what we want to do is combine the x's to be 4x minus 3x is going to give us x. And then our negative 5 plus 6 is going to give us 1. So then our answer is going to be, actually sorry, this was plus 3x. So it's going to be 7x plus 1. See, even I make mistakes. It happens. So 7x plus 1 is our answer to the first one. Now if we look at example 2, when you see the subtraction sign here, you need to have it go to everything here and here. So you might just want to rewrite this as minus 4x squared plus 3y squared, or excuse me, minus 3y squared, because the sign has to change. So minus 3y squared. And up front, x squared plus y squared stays the same. So now we want to combine our x squareds. So x squared minus 4x squared is going to be minus 3x squared. And then our y squareds with y squareds minus 2y squared. Alright, so hopefully you see we want to combine like terms. That's something you're going to hear me use a lot in future lessons. Alright, so the next one, number 3, is a trinomial adding a trinomial. So let's look in here. We have 3x squared plus a negative 3x squared. Those will cancel out. We have negative 5x squared and negative 5x squared. So in this case, when we're adding, that becomes negative 10x y squared. The exponents for the variables do not change when you're adding or subtracting. When we do multiplication and division, they do change, but for adding and subtracting, they do not change. And then finally, we have y squared or y cubed and minus y cubed. Those will cancel out as well, so our answer is negative 10xy squared. Simple enough. Number 4, this time we have a subtraction sign. That's going to change the signs on all three. So you have to take that into account. So I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to write the x squared term first. So I'm going to have 6x squared. I'm kind of trying to do each of these written a little different way each time. Minus 2xy squared, x squared. Then I'm going to have plus 12xy. And this changes to plus 8xy. And then finally I have plus 4y squared minus 2y squared, because that one changes to negative. And so now I can clean it up. I have all the terms with each other, and so I'm going to have 4x squared plus 20xy plus 2y squared for my final answer. And so I've done all 4 of these problems horizontally, in a horizontal fashion. And now I'm going to take the time and I'm going to show you how to solve some problems vertically. And personally, I think the vertical method is almost easier because you line everything up first and then you add or subtract. So you can see 5, 6, and 7 are all subtraction. So that means this changes to negative, that's positive, and that's positive. So as we look, 7x squared y squared minus x squared y squared, 6x squared y squared, negative 8xy plus 9xy, going to leave us with just plus xy, and then 9 plus 10 is going to leave us with plus 19. So we get 6x squared plus xy plus 19. If you look at number 6, you can see the top is just a binomial and the bottom is a trinomial. It's subtracting, so these will change. It becomes negative, positive, negative. So always think when I'm subtracting, I need to change every sign. So then 5x squared minus 2x squared is negative 3x squared, 3xy plus 8xy plus 11xy, and then we just have minus 4 all by itself. Looking at the last one, subtraction, so we need to change these terms, and you can see x squared minus x squared cancels, 2xy minus 2xy cancels, and then y squared plus y squared leaves us with 2y squared. So zooming out, there is the front page. So now let's flip over our page and we'll go to our next page here. And hopefully it won't take me too long to get set up. Alright, so here we go. At the top, we have a couple of word problems. Some of the measures of polygons are given. P represents the measure of the perimeter. Find the measure of the other side or sides. So as we look, we have perimeter is 2x plus 5y. And hopefully everyone remembers that when solving for perimeter, you just add up all 3 sides. So we would have, to find this third side, we would just have to take the total perimeter, 5x plus 2y, maybe I'll zoom in on it, and then we need to subtract 2x minus 3y, and we need to subtract, sorry I didn't really give a lot of space, x plus 2y from the overall perimeter. And we'll solve that. So you can see with the 5x, this negative sign here changes this to negative and this to positive. And the second negative sign changes the x to negative and the y to negative as well. So we have 5x minus 2x minus x, so that's going to leave us with 2x. And then we have 2y plus 3y minus 2y, that's going to leave us with plus 3y. And that will be our answer for the third side. So we took the total perimeter and subtracted the other two sides to find the third side. Now, number 9, we're given a rectangle. What we know, 3x squared plus 5 is the one side. Because these are all 90-degree angles, we know the other side is also 3x squared plus 5. And then finally we know that the missing sides are the same. So first we're going to solve for what's left and then divide it by 2. So we're going to have the perimeter 14x squared plus 10x plus 12, and we're going to subtract 3x squared plus 5 plus 3x squared plus 5. And so hopefully that isn't too confusing for you. But when we do that, 14x squared, we subtract the two other x squareds because this minus sign is changing every sign for each one. So 14x squared minus 3x squared minus 3x squared, that's going to leave me with 8x squared. And then 10x, there's no other x's, so the 10x stays the same, plus 10x. And then I have 12, and it's going to be minus 5 plus 2. So that gives us the total of the two sides. So then, if you think about it, all you need to do is just divide it in half. So when I do that, this just becomes 4x squared plus 5x plus 1. And you can see that was not too hard. We just divided each of the numbers, or each of the constants, in half. So we got 4x squared plus 5x plus 1. Now if we look at number 10, it says the sides of a triangle have lengths x plus 5, x minus 2, and 2x minus 4. Find the perimeter of the triangle in terms of x. So this is simple. We have 3 different sides and they add up to the perimeter. So I'm just going to do x plus 5 plus x minus 2 plus 2x minus 4 equals. And so when you're adding, you don't have to change the signs. So this equals 4x, and then 5 minus 6 minus 1, so we get 4x minus 1. Alright, number 11. Find the perimeter of a pentagon that has 3 sides of length 2x plus 3 and 2 sides of length x minus 1. So I had a number of students in class solve that this way. They said, oh, I have 3 sides that are 2x plus 3. So they did 3 times 2x plus 3 if I can write it down. And then they had plus 2 times, and that's going to be x minus 1. So they made it into, they just want to distribute 3 times 2x plus 3 gives them 6x plus 9. And then 2 times x minus 1 is plus 2x minus 2. So then we just combine our like terms, and we get 8x plus 7. Or you could have written out all 5 of the sides and added them up. All right. Number 12 says one rectangle has an area of 7x squared minus 4x plus 12 square feet. A second rectangle has an area of 4x squared plus 2x minus 1 square feet. How many more square feet is the first rectangle? So we're not actually going to know the actual number of square feet, but we do know the equation. And we know the first one has more. So I'm going to set it up as a subtraction problem. So I have 7x squared minus 4x plus 12. I am subtracting, I'm going to do it vertically, 4x squared plus 2x minus 1. Now hopefully you remember I need to change the signs. This becomes minus, minus, plus. So then it's easy, simple, right? 3x squared minus 6x plus 13. That's how many more square feet the first rectangle has than the second rectangle. And then finally 13, subtract 3x minus 6 from 24x plus 18. I like to say if you subtracted 2 from 5, what would you get? You should be saying 3. So that means we set this up as 24x plus 18 minus 3x minus 6. And that changes the signs. This becomes minus and that becomes plus. 21x plus 24. That one is just making sure you remember just how to read a subtraction problem. And that's all we have for adding and subtracting polynomials.